Prosper, Garden 30, we live stream, try to live stream every week, spending half an hour or so in the garden while I hang out with you guys and discuss something. So this week we're discussing how to be more organized with your preparedness. So I've been pretty guilty of this in the past, buying cool things. You know, you want the cool guy this, the cool guy that. Like, I had 1,000 rounds for my AR and more 22 than I know what to do with, more than I could count before I bought a good water filter. And that's not the right way to do it. We need to be more organized than that. So what I did is I put together this document. You can find it at johnmagnus.com/levels. It's called the Levels of Preparedness. And I'm going to be rebranding my website soon. That's what I went with to begin with. The Prepare to Prosper name now. I really need to rebrand the website. Maybe I'll work on it this weekend. But anyway, join me while we discuss how to do this more organized. I'm going to start out with picking some tomatoes, and then we'll spend some time weeding. So, it's important to start out. I have to keep moving the camera around. So, you can't go at being prepared by yourself. You need a group of people. So if there's an emergency, you gotta sleep sometime if it's the Hollywood kind of emergency, and that's when the bad guys will come. But in more realistic emergencies, your car's gonna break down and you're gonna need a buddy with a trailer to come rescue you. Or your wife's in the hospital and you need somebody to pick up the kids from school. So me and Sarah just moved recently, so we haven't got I moved when we got married. I moved in with Sarah, and alright, so this cat, we're moving. Okay. Hopefully we don't have any more hiccups like that. Anyway, so I was moving this 500-pound or so, 300-pound cast iron bathtub into the garden. We're going to use it to grow worms and use the fertilizer right into the garden and the worm juice right into the garden. While we were working on it, I was moving that. Realized I really need to put a preparedness group closer to home so that when I'm working on a bigger project, I can help them, or they can come help me, and I can help them with bigger projects. So it's not just end of the world kind of stuff. It's being more prepared to deal with life and have people around you that can help you out and stuff like that. So I put the first thing in the levels of preparedness. It should have been level 1 to find a group and start attending it, but I put attend 10 meetings, 3/5 of the total number of meetings. Tried working with the preparedness group. Getting people to show up is difficult, and I was hoping that would help motivate them. When I put together the new group here where I live, I'm going to be a lot more stringent on that rule and actually have people show up. And if people don't want to show up and be dependable to show up at a monthly meeting, then what's the point? They're not reliable now. They're not going to be reliable when I need them. So if the Boy Scouts can meet every week and the Girl Scouts can meet every week, sports teams can meet every day, surely a group of people that say they'll help each other in emergencies can meet together at least once a month. And I'd like to do also a periodic work days, a couple days a month. Let me move the camera so I can walk around the back here. Yeah, the garden's kind of overgrown with tomatoes and peppers. I'm back here if you can't see me. Anyway, if you can't put together a group, or if you can't be reliable to show up, you can't be reliable in an emergency. And then lost my train of thought. Hold on a second. Let me consult my list. My notes. All right, the next thing I put on the list, develop a simple everyday carry. Like I said, I wanted to do baby steps. So if you're getting somebody new on board into preparedness and they've never really done anything their entire life, the first step should be getting what they getting what they have every day squared away. So this basic EDC isn't fancy. It isn't designed to get you through the apocalypse or anything like that. It's designed to be the stuff you're going to use every day to get you through everyday small tasks that need to be done. Like carrying a pocket knife so you can use your knife for knife things. Carrying a flashlight so you have a light in the dark. It's not even the simple EDC like that. I didn't even have a gun on it. A carry gun. Even though I almost always carry a gun. It's missing right now. I took it off earlier and forgot to put it back on. I almost always carry it even when I'm in the house. That's strange for me to do. Anyway, so I did a whole video on our whole live stream on everyday carry a while back. All right, so now that we got most of the tomatoes picked, we're gonna start picking weeds, and we put the weeds in this bucket. Once this bucket's full, I'm gonna do a video on how to recycle the weeds into fertilizer. And like usual, my goal, primarily with the weeds, is grass and getting the roots of the grass and grapevine. That's the most persistent weed I have in the garden. If I can get rid of those, that's great. The other weeds, I mean, I'm happy to get them out, but I'm not going to, not worth that much effort to get them, to make sure I get all the weeds, or roots. That's a pretty good sized grass root, but it broke off. Anyway, the next one is just develop a diet plan. So the average American, look at that, that's a good grass root. The average American is pretty overweight. And there's another big one. And being prepared and a survivalist, you're trying to survive the end of the world. Well, if you're not in good enough shape to do it, if you're going to have a heart attack, I mean, you might become the emergency earlier than you want because you had a heart attack because you were out of shape. Or if you end up with diabetes and lose a leg, you're in trouble. Or even if you end up dependent on insulin, you're not going to be able to survive any sort of medical supply chain breakdown, or even a widespread power outage because you can't maintain your insulin. To develop an exercise plan that goes along the same way, same stuff. Everybody in the tactical preparedness community, they always talk about shoot, move, and communicate. Well, if you're out of shape, you can't do any of those things. Or he needs you to help him move something. You can't come help him because you're so out of shape. He can't even walk to the end of the block. Now, I'm not in as good a shape as I used to be, but me and Sarah have been eating a lot healthier, and we both lost about 30 pounds, and she's off all of her diabetic medicine. We need to be exercising more, though. But anyway, level 1, just develop a plan. It's not complete the plan, it's not do the plan, it's just make a plan. Because like I said, I wanted this to be simple and easy for anybody to start doing. And we're already 10 minutes into it, and I haven't gotten very far, so this is probably going to be a multi-part 2-part live stream. So next week I'll probably be talking about the same stuff, just further on down the list. Anyway, so next one is write a budget. Again, you don't have to do the budget. You don't have to follow the budget yet. Just come up with one. And I don't mean like a Dave Ramsey, every dollar has its own name and its own job and a plan for every dollar. That's great if you can do it, but at least know what you're spending your money on, because the name of the podcast is Prepare to Prosper. If times don't get awful and things end up working out pretty well, you're going to get old and you're going to need some retirement. And also you need a budget to be able to buy some more expensive things and to organize your preparedness. Like if you want to buy a $200 or a $500, you have to. Most of us can't just afford to $500 whenever we feel like it. Then make a food journal. That way you know what food to store. So basically, have everybody in the family just write down what they eat on a notebook, and then you know what to store. Me and Sarah do it a little bit differently. Sometime I'll do a pantry video. But basically, we figured out what items we buy. Every item has its own shelf on a row in the pantry, and we just keep stocking it from the back and keep it filled up. Develop skills. So this goes along with coming to preparedness groups, because the group meetings and group get-togethers should be about community and growing the group, but also should focus a lot on teaching each other skills. And everybody involved should be teaching everybody else skills. So there's plenty of places you can learn how to do things. You can take classes, go online. You can ask other people in your preparedness group to teach you skills. They might be the primary, you're the secondary, you're learning from them. And but find skills that go with the gifts that you have and the interests you have. All right, I'm gonna move the tripod here. Let me see. Make that leg a little longer. Sorry about the loud neighbors. All right. And then develop a threat assessment. So look around what the most likely, or list off everything that's likely to cause you a problem. Losing a job, your spouse getting sick and ending up in the hospital, a flat tire, the furnace going out, power outages, dam breaking, rioting, everything you can think of, big and small. I mean, I wouldn't put asteroid impact on there or nuclear war, but I mean, maybe that wouldn't hurt to do that. And then from there, once you got that list of all the possible disasters, you can start looking at them and start prioritizing which ones are most likely and least likely to happen. Like, you're a lot more likely to get a flat tire on your way home than you are for your wife to end up in the hospital. And you're more likely to end up in the hospital with a broken leg, compound fracture, spending a couple days in the hospital from that, than you getting leg surgery and stuff. You're more likely to deal with that than you are to have an asteroid hit your house. So rank order those, and that way it'll help you come up with a plan on what to get more prepared and stuff like that. And I think that's level 1, so we're gonna stop for today. This will be a shorter one, only about 15 minutes. But I'm gonna make them as long as they need to be. I'm not gonna try to stretch these out and yammer on longer than they need to be. And so next week we'll pick up on level 2. And basically level 2 just takes everything we just discussed and worked on in level 1 and just elevates it up another notch. So instead of coming with a diet plan, it's starting your diet. Instead of writing down your budget, it's using your budget. So we'll discuss all that next week. I hope you come back here to join me again. And remember, we prepare today so we can prosper tomorrow.